Hello everyone, Anthony Wood from Searchlight Simulations here. Got a quick tutorial on how end of train telemetry as well as your distance counters work for the AC4400 CW now available on Steam. So quickly, what end of train telemetry is it's the receiving and transmission of information from the rear of your train, and this can be done either through distributed power, which I have here, or through an end-of-train telemetry device, such as a normal FRED. Now, this is for two-way communication between the head end of the train and the rear end of the train, and what it allows for is transmission of information such as the rear of the train pressure, as well as if the rear of the train is moving, which in this case, since I have DP, it will not tell me if the rear of my train is moving, it's just assumed. With an ETD, it would show EOT move forward, or EOT move reverse, or just EOT forward, EOT reverse. As well as it would show the marker status as being on, if I had a FRED. At night, specifically. To show an example of this, I'll release the brakes, and it will show the brake pipe increasing at the rear of the train, gradually as the brake pipe fills from the head end, and then once the rear end senses it, like right there, it'll start pumping the rear as well with the DP. With an ETD, it will not have the ability to add air from the rear, so it will just strictly increase as the head end flow it reaches the back of the train. The same also happens in reverse when you take air. Now, since the DP can also take air from the rear, unlike an ETD, you'll see the brake pipe drop almost immediately at the rear of the train. As for distance counters, real-world engineers have great use of the distance counters, as it is always important to think 2 miles ahead and 1 mile behind. Now, this may be dated now that trains are in excess of, in some cases, 2 miles long, but the idea still holds true. What you want to know is where the rear of your train is at, because you have slow orders, restricted turnouts, and other general areas that you need to know that you're clear of before you can increase your train's speed. To use the distance counter on either the IFD on the left or the SDIS on the right, you can hit operator functions, navigate to distance counter, and you have multiple options: count up, count down, zero counter, preset counter, and recall preset, as well as exit. Count up will count up from whatever you have your distance counter at the current time. So in this case, since it's at 0, it will count up from 0. An important bit of information that every engineer needs to know is how long their train is, and this is usually provided to them in their train data sheet, which we have made available by hitting Control-I on your keyboard. On my train data sheet, it shows my length, my weight, my car count, my axle count, my total gross and net horsepower, my horsepower per ton, my grade, or my rolling drag, my grade drag, my curvature drag, and the total drag at the time of the train data being displayed. Now, this last bit of information as far as drag goes isn't necessary to know as an engineer. It's just useful to know how the effects of gradients and curvature have on your train's pulling ability. What's really important is our length. So we're going to look at that now, and it is showing 6,549 feet long. So what I will do is go to preset counter and dial in 6,549 feet. Oops, and I messed that up. You can fix that by hitting 0 preset and starting over. Hit enter, and you'll see your distance now displayed on the top right corner of your screen. As you're coming out of a speed restricted area, you'll want to hit your counter right as you are exiting the slow order or turnout or whatever it is. So you'll hit countdown, and it will start counting down from that preset that you have enabled. Once you are clear, you will hear a low-high tone from the computer, as well as showing a distance of 0 or a negative value as you have now cleared the thing. And once you are clear, hit stop counter, recall preset, and you're good to go.